Hello and welcome to the Randy Jackson Coaching Show. We're going into week 5 of the season, almost to the halfway point. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Kim Assad of DFW Realty Associates, for sponsoring the Coach Jackson Show. This is just an incredible opportunity for me to be sitting here. This time last year, we were looking at an 0-4 record going into Start District. We now have turned and Coach Jackson and his staff have turned this program around into something to be really proud of. And we go into district at a 3-1 mark. And, you know, Coach, I'd just like for you to talk about kind of the psyche of the team at this point and kind of compare and contrast last year versus this year and, you know, what the differences are going in.
Well, it's pretty great atmosphere. It's an awesome atmosphere we have out here now. It's fun to show up to work, and last year wasn't miserable, but this year now our kids, the term that we use, they feel 10 foot tall and bulletproof right now, and they're pretty fired up. I think they feel like we could take on anybody and we'd have a chance, and that's the deal. You know, they have to be confident and know they've put in the work, and so our culture is really good. We started that with off season, and we feel like we're where we're supposed to be, but if you're going to have a special season, you've got to beat somebody that you weren't supposed to beat, and Arlington Heights would classify as that. We were an underdog, and what a great win at home, and so yeah, we feel like it was kind of a signature win for our program the other night.
Yeah, we're going to talk about offense here in the beginning, and then we're going to have a special guest, Mike Alexander, who is the defensive coordinator. But you know, you took the ball in the first quarter, basically the first half, and controlled the ball game, going at halftime at 14-7. So what did you tell your kids after the first half of that football game?
Well, we just talked to them about how our defense is played a lot of snaps. They're a physical offense, and so I saw our defense, you know, just playing their guts out, and we want to get them off the field some, and the only way you can do that is to run the football, and so that was an emphasis for us, but it was hard. I mean, you know, I use the term, it was hard rock mining in there running the ball against those guys, but we made enough big plays, but we didn't snap the ball enough. I mean, we really left those guys out there a long time on defense the other night, but we scored enough to win.
Yeah, you had big plays in the first half, and that was real exciting. But, you know, we always talk about the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Yes.
And talk about execution. The team executed the first 5 minutes of the second half, scored a touchdown, put you up 21-7 in a game that was looking really, really good at the beginning of the third quarter after you scored.
And that's a big debate. Really, all week I talked about, we hadn't won a coin flip all year, and I thought, okay, we're going to win. We're due to win one, and we were going to take the ball at the beginning of the game. And for some reason, I just decided, hey, let's play defense. And so it was a big deal for us to get the ball in the second half and go score. When your defense is as good as ours is, for us to go 21-7, I knew they were in a little bit of trouble. And I thought if we could really score one more, we could probably do them in. But we couldn't. And we held on, of course, but yeah, to go up 2 touchdowns against a running team, it kind of got them out of their game a little bit. They'd only, in 2 games, they'd thrown the ball 15 times total, and they threw it 20 the other night. And so for us to go up 14 points in the third quarter, I think kind of got them out of their comfort zone a little bit.
Well, let's talk about something to put icing on the cake, and that's the defense. I'd like to invite Mike Alexander to come in and talk a little bit about the defense. Well, it's a great privilege to welcome Mike Alexander to the Coach's Show. We wanted to have him a couple weeks ago. We weren't able to get him. This game, defense really stepped up. Coach Alexander, what are your overall thoughts of, you know, the defense and how they played against Arlington Heights, and particularly how they've grown from game 1 to now going into game number 5?
Well, you know, our defensive staff, you know, Kip, we're blessed to get to coach these great kids, and they do everything we ask them to do as well as they can do it. They're tough, they're physical kids. You know, a lot of them might not look, you know, like they're Division I athletes, but man, they play hard, and they're coachable and they're smart. As far as the transformation from, you know, 0 week to now, I mean, we're different personnel in the field. Our linebacking core is completely different. Our 2 starting outside linebackers are now out. We've moved an inside backer to outside backer. So I mean, we're way different. But the kid, doesn't matter. Seems to not matter who we put in there. They just play their butts off, and they play for each other, and they play with a lot of passion and play with a lot of pride. And like I said, it's an exciting group to coach.
Well, the defense really stepped up in this game against Heights, and I mean there was at least 10 or 12 plays that I could point out, but I just want to focus on a couple. And if you win the turnover battle in these games, you're going to win football games. And let's talk about the 2 interceptions. You had Ball made an interception in the end zone where Arlington Heights was driving. You had Colin Margiotta made an interception around midfield. Let's just kind of talk about the defensive scheme and kind of what you were thinking there.
Yes, sir. Coach Jackson had made the point earlier in the week. We were talking about this quarterback, and he's a fantastic athlete. And his junior year lit it up running the football, but also he threw 25 touchdowns as a junior with 0 interceptions. So when Carter Ball picked off that pass in the end zone in the first quarter, that was that young man's first interception that he's thrown on the varsity level. So that was a big deal. And then right before half, we had to go out and defend with about 2 minutes to go, and Colin came up big with an interception off pressure. We pressured him out of the pocket and got him on the move, and Colin showed up big. And so turnovers are huge, and they're twofold. You got to win the turnover battle. To do that, your offense can't be turning the ball over. And we protected the ball pretty well the other night. We won that turnover battle, and that's a huge difference in the game. Just gives our offense more opportunities to go score.
Yeah, and one of the things that was I think pivotal in the game was the fourth quarter. Heights started running the football. I mean, right at you. It was smash mouth as you can get. And that kid Bowie, number 6, I believe his number was, and the quarterback together. That was a pretty potent situation. The defense buckled. They just buckled down and stopped those guys. But there was no better stop than in the fourth quarter when I felt the momentum changing a bit.
Yes, sir.
Had Heights converted that 4th down, we could have had a different situation. It was huge. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, sir. At the time, it was 21-14, and Heights had the ball, and they made a couple first downs, and they crossed midfield, and we didn't really do anything special. I think we ran a little game inside to kind of free Brian Andrews up. He was getting double teamed a lot, and he got in the backfield and got a tackle for loss. And anytime you're playing against those guys that are heavy run oriented, if you can get a negative play on them, you got a chance in that set of 3 or 4 downs, to get off the field. And that's what happened. We played solid first down, then second down we got a tackle for loss. Played solid on third down, got pressure on the quarterback, incomplete pass, and on 4th down, quarterback rolled out. We hit him as he threw, and Christian Ryan broke up a pass on a receiver that was coming open at the time. We got off the field, and at the time I believe there was about 6 minutes to go in the game.
That's right. Yeah.
And had they gone down and scored right there, who knows what happens? But we get the ball back to our offense and end up playing the field position battle again, Kip. And I'll tell you this, one untold story that gets lost in all this is our special teams. Our special teams pinned Arlington Heights deep every time we punted or kicked. They averaged starting their offensive possessions on about the 20-yard line. I think it was a 21 to be exact. So, special teams gave us the ability to play a lot of defense over, an 80-yard field instead of the shorter fields, which is huge for a defensive coordinator. I definitely want to defend 80 above 50 any day of the week.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we go into the game against Lake Dallas this week. It's Friday night here at Mustang Panther Stadium. Starts at 7:30. What are you expecting to see from Lake Dallas from an offensive perspective?
Much different than Arlington Heights. They're going to have no backs in the backfield quite a bit. They'll be in the empty sets. Quarterback will be throwing the ball all over the yard. They have an exceptional athlete. His last name's Holder, I believe, or no, Brewer, excuse me. Number 12, he's a fantastic athlete. They like to get him the ball in a lot of different ways, out of the backfield, as a receiver. Sometimes he'll line up at quarterback. But it'll be true spread offense. Defensively, it's completely different than this past week. So we got to play great pass coverage. We need to get pressure on the quarterback. And, you know, I feel like our defensive line will play well and allow us to get some pressure on the quarterback. And if we do that, we have a chance to be successful.
Yeah, and of course, special teams are going to play a big role, just like you mentioned earlier. I think Michael Scott has really gotten that rugby kit down perfectly. If they field it in the air, that's always not a good thing, but he angled some really nice kicks inside the 20, and that was very good execution on that end. So we do have Lake Dallas this week. This is our opportunity to go 4-1. Win our first district game against a tough Lake Dallas team that actually beat us last year. So this is going to be a good test for us, and we're going in with a lot of momentum, and hopefully we come out on top to have that 4-1 record. On behalf of the Grapevine High School Football Booster Club, Kim Assad, DFW Realty Associates, Coach Jackson, and Coach Alexander, thank you for joining us. Wish you the best, and go Mustangs.